Hi boys and girls, this is Mrs. Gress, and I'm going to be showing you in this video how to make the Indian corn pins for Thanksgiving. So here's some pictures of Indian corn. This is what it looks like. Comes in lots of different colors. And we're going to be making Indian corn pins, which will look something like this. So here's some different styles and colors. There's lots of different ways to make the Indian corn pins, and it's really kind of hard to do it wrong. So we're going to go over the instructions for how to do this so you can get your materials and get ready to do it along with me, and you can pause the video anytime you need to so that you can catch up. So you have a bag of materials that looks like this, and I would recommend that you get a plate or a pie pan to pour your things onto instead of just pouring them onto a table, because you have a lot of little beads down in there and they will roll all over the place. So empty out your bag first into a plate, and this is all the materials you need to make your Indian corn pin. So you're starting with a piece of twisted paper. This is twisted paper ribbon, 6 inches long. And you also have 3 pipe cleaners that are 6 inches long. These are going to be the base for your 3 ears of corn. And then you should have a pin and a piece of wax paper with some glue dots, and then a stack of beads. Now, most of these beads are triangle-shaped beads. These tri-beads are going to be used for the ears of corn, but you should find in there somewhere 3 little beads that are round instead of triangular. So the first thing you're going to do is go through all those beads and find the 3 beads that are round instead of triangle and separate those from the rest. So you're going to take your pipe cleaners, 1 pipe cleaner at a time, and you're going to put a round bead on the pipe cleaner. Just string it through there, and then you're going to put the round bead in the center of that pipe cleaner. You don't have to measure it or anything, but get it as close to the center of it as you can, and then you're going to fold the pipe cleaner in half so that the round bead is at the end of it. Okay, so there's one. I'm going to do the same thing with all 3 pipe cleaners. So here's my second pipe cleaner, and I'm going to put the round bead right on that pipe cleaner, and then fold it in half. And you can adjust it a little bit if you need to. And you want to pinch this end down where the round bead is. You want to pinch it together as tightly as you can there. And one more. So I'm going to put the round bead on the pipe cleaner like this, and then fold the pipe cleaner in half. That one's not very close to the center, so slide it down a little bit more. And there we go. So the round bead is in the center, and now I have my 3 pipe cleaners with a round bead on each end and folded in half so that the beads can't get lost. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is the twisted paper, and so I can move these things out of the way for a little bit while I do the twisted paper. You are going to need a pair of scissors to do this part. And you will see that this is twisted in a counterclockwise direction. And so you're going to untwist it. So you're going to twist it the opposite way that it's already twisted. And you will see that it starts to loosen. So then you're going to have to just work it apart. And what you want to do is flatten out this twisted paper so that it's flat again. It's still going to have the creases in it, which is fine because that gives it the texture of the corn husks like this. So we want it to look a little bit wrinkly, but we're going to spread it out flat first. Okay, and this paper is going to end up being about 4 inches wide once I get it all unfolded. All right, now on each end, on the top edge and the bottom edge, I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to cut out some triangles so that I can give the ends of the corn husk this pointed look. Now, you don't have to draw this on first or anything. You're just going to cut out some triangles out of there. Don't make your triangles too big. You only want to go in about 1 inch or so. So you're going to just cut some triangles. It doesn't even really matter how many triangles you cut. So I've got 5 points on that end, and then I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. Just cut out some triangles so that the end is pointed. They don't have to be all the same shape. They don't have to be all the same length. It's nature, so nature doesn't usually do straight lines. Okay, so that one I've got 6 points on. So now I'm going to take all of those scraps and go throw those away. I'm done with those. All right, now I have my corn husk ready to go. So I'm just going to set my corn husk off to the side, and I will use it again later. And then I'm going to go back to the beads. I'm going to move the pin. This is the pin back so that you can pin it onto your shirt. I'm going to move the pin back out of the way, and I'm going to move this wax paper with the glue dots out of the way because I don't need that until later. And then I'm going to work on these ears of corn. So each ear of corn needs 11 tri-beads, 11 triangle-shaped beads. So you're going to divide these up, and I gave you 36 beads instead of 33. You need 11 plus 11 plus 11 is 33 beads. And I gave you a few extra because sometimes the hole in the center is really hard to get the pipe cleaner through. So you might have 1 or 2 defective beads. So the first thing you want to do is line up your beads and arrange them the way you want your Indian corn to look. So you're going to arrange the colors the way you want them. Now you don't want to alternate like red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow. If you alternate 2 colors in a stripe, your Indian corn is going to look like this. It's going to look like a red stripe, a yellow stripe, a red stripe, a yellow stripe. And that doesn't look very natural. You want it to be a little bit more natural looking, like this. So there isn't necessarily a pattern, or you're not following a specific color pattern to put these together. So I'm going to make 3 rows of 11 beads. I'm going to move these out of the way so I have a little more space here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Put another brown one in that one. 10. And I'll put another gold one in here. All right, now I need another one, and I'll do one with some yellows and oranges. How about? And then I'll do mostly reds in that one. So I'll move this over here. All right. I'll divide those up a little bit. And put these in order. How I want to arrange them on my ears of corn. Now, I've got extra beads, and you don't want to put more than 11 beads on, or you won't have enough pipe cleaner left at the end here to twist them all together around the paper. So we're just going to use 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's my first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to take one out. I'll take this red one out. And I'm going to move it over here into this one, I think. I'll put this down here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've got a couple extra here, and I think I took this one out here. So now I have arranged what my 3 ears of corn are going to look like as far as the order of the colors. So now I'm going to take one of my pipe cleaners with the bead at the end, and it's important that you keep these pipe cleaners as straight as you can, or you're going to have a lot of trouble getting them to go through the beads. You might want to just peel off a little bit of the fuzz at the end so that you can see the wires at the end a little bit more easily. That might be helpful. All right, now I'm just going to go down this row in order and put these beads on. So I'm going to take the first bead in my row, and I need to make sure that I get both of the points of the pipe cleaner into the hole of the tri-bead. Okay, so there's 2. And 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay, I'm about halfway done. So what I want to do next is I want to make sure that I push all of these beads down as close to this round bead as possible. So I want to push this bead all the way down there as tight as I can get it. And then these are going to stack up right next to it, and there shouldn't be any gaps in between these beads. Okay, so I pull those all down tight, and then I'm going to keep going and putting the last 5 beads on this ear of corn. And I can push them down all the way to the bottom as I go. If you're putting on the bead and you accidentally only put it on one of the pipe cleaners like this, that one of the pipe cleaners is going around, then you want to take that bead back off and make sure that the bead goes over both of the pipe cleaners. Okay, now turn this around, make sure that you don't have any pipe cleaner sticking out on the side, because that means only one of your pipe cleaner tips went through the bead. And you can count them, make sure you've got 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so I've got my 11 beads on there, and then I'm going to pull the top apart so that it makes a V shape out of the pipe cleaners. Okay, so this is one ear of corn, all done. And then you're going to take the other 2 pipe cleaners and you're going to do the same thing with these 2 rows to make your other 2 ears of corn. Okay, now I'm going to jump ahead and I'm going to say, here are my 3 ears of corn that I have all done. So each one of these you're putting in a V shape like this. And now we're going to need our twisted paper again. So we're going to take all 3 of the ears of corn and line up all the V-shaped pipe cleaners together so that all of those V's line up. So your 3 ears of corn are side by side and all of the V's go like this. Now I'm going to take these 3 that are sticking out this side and these 3 that are sticking out this side, and I'm going to just twist them once down at the bottom just to hold those together like this. So now I've got these 3 are twisted together and these 3 are twisted together, and now my ears of corn are all sticking out like that, which is fine. And now I'm going to take my twisted paper and I'm going to I'm not going to twist it back up, but I'm going to gather it together in the center, like this. And I'm going to stick this center part down in between the V's. So if here are the V's of your pipe cleaners, you're putting the paper right down between them like that. And then you're going to twist the pipe cleaners. Oops, my V's came apart, so I need to twist them again. So I'm going to put the paper down between the V's. Then I'm going to put them both up together like that. I'm going to bring all 6 pipe cleaners together, and then I'm going to twist it down as tightly as I can. So I'm twisting all these pipe cleaners really tightly. I'm going to twist it all the way up so it's like that. Okay? All right. And you want to shake it around and make sure that it's not loose. If it's loose or if any of them fall out, then you need to do your V's again. Put the paper down in the center and twist it nice and tight right there. All right, now you're going to very gently fan out your corn husk paper and then fold it up, because your corn husk paper is going to hide that pipe cleaner in the middle, like this. Okay? So your paper is going to go like that, and now we can see it coming together. We can see the corn and the corn husk. Now, if you have a hot glue gun at your house, I usually use a hot glue gun to do this. I put some hot glue right here on this side and right here on this side, and then I put some hot glue right around those pipe cleaners in the center, and then I close them up, and then I hold it on the sides until it cools off. Now, I know that a lot of you don't have a hot glue gun at your house, so I'm going to show you what to do with these glue dots to hold your Indian corn pin together. So now you need to get the wax paper, and the wax paper has 4 glue dots on it, so we're going to use 3 of them to close up this corn husk paper. So I'm going to peel this back and take off 1 glue dot. These are really sticky, so be careful what you touch them to. Okay? So I'm going to take 1 glue dot, and I'm going to put it right down here next to the edge on the paper. Okay? I'll stick it to the paper there. So it's really close to the pipe cleaner down here. Can you see that? Looks sort of like a glob of glue. Then on the other side, I'm going to take 2 more glue dots, and I'm going to put them a little bit farther up and side by side. So there's 1 glue dot right there, and another glue dot goes right here. Okay? Now that I've got this, I've got 1 glue dot here, 2 glue dots a little bit higher up on this side. Now I'm going to close this up and make sure that the edges of my paper meet. And then I'm going to squeeze it a little bit on where those glue dots are. Okay? Now, it doesn't have to be this flat and wide. You can still crunch your corn husks up so it's a little bit narrower. Looks a little bit more wrinkly. All right, and now we're right here. So we're all done except for putting the pin on. This is the pin back. If you wanted to use this as a place favor for Thanksgiving or a table decoration, you wouldn't have to put the pin on the back of it. But if you want to wear it as a pin on your shirt, then you have to attach the pin back. Now, the pin back has one end that is a hinge and the other end that is a clasp. So you open it by turning this around, and then the pin slides out. Okay? So we want this to be closed, so I'll put the pin in, and then I'll turn this latch to clasp it shut. And you can look at your Indian corn and decide what you want to be the front and the back. Okay? Whichever side looks better, you probably want to be the front. And I would recommend, if you have white glue, like Elmer's glue or wood glue or tacky glue, that you put a little bit of white glue right there on your paper and then set this down on it and just let the white glue dry for a couple of hours. When you put this clasp on here, you want to make sure that the hinge is at the top of the paper and the clasp is down at the bottom near where the corn is. All right, so if you have hot glue or white glue, I usually put hot glue on here, and I hot glue that, and then I put the pin down on it, and then just hold it for a little while until the glue is set and cooled off or dry. Now, if you don't have any hot glue or white glue, you have one sticky dot left, and you can take this sticky dot off of the paper and roll it up a little bit. Sticks to your fingers, so you gotta be careful with it. Don't get it on any fabric or wallpaper. All right, then you can put this glue dot that you have stretched out into a longer shape on the back of your pin, like this, and then you can press it down onto the paper. And this is going to remain sticky, so you want to try not to get this on anything and put as much of the glue under the metal part as you can. So once you put that in there, then you can open up the clasp and take the pin out. And then you can pin it onto your shirt. You can have a grown-up show you how to do this if you don't know how to do these kind of pins. Then after you have this through a little piece of your shirt, then you put it back in here and close the clasp. Okay? So there you go. And there we have your Indian corn pin decoration. And you can wear that for your Thanksgiving dinner or use it as a table decoration. So, hope you enjoyed that little activity, and if you need any help, send me an email.